So, Chapter 8, Project Quality Management Information Technology, Project Management 7th Edition. Learning Objectives Part 1, Understand the importance of project quality management for information technology or IT. Products and services. Define project quality management and understand how quality relates to various aspects of IT projects. Describe quality management, planning, and how quality and scope management are related. Discuss the importance of quality assurance. Explain the main outputs of the quality control. Part 2 is to understand the tools and techniques for quality control, such as the seven basic tools for quality, statistical sampling, Six Sigma, and the testing. Summarize the contribution of noteworthy quality experts to modern quality management. Describe the how leadership, the cost of quality, organizational influences, expectation, cultural differences, and maturity moderns relate to improving quality in IT project. Discuss how software can assist in project quality management. So, the importance of project quality management. Many people joke about the poor quality of IT products, see cars, and computer jokes. People seem to accept system being down occasionally or needing to reboot their PCs, but quality is very important in many IT projects. One went wrong. In 1986, two hospital patients died after receiving fatal dose of radiation from a Terac 25 machine after software problem caused the machine to ignore the calibration data. In one of the biggest software errors in banking history, Chemical Bank mistakenly deduct about 15 million from more than 100,000 customers' accounts. In 2015, the United States Department of Justice unsealed indictments in what was described as the largest data break of names and emails addresses in the history of the internet. So, what is the project quality? The International Organization for Standardization or ISO defines quality as the degree of which a set of inherent characteristics fulfill requirements. Other experts define quality based on conformance of requirements, the project's processes, and the products meet written specifications. So, fitness for use. A product can be used as it was intended. So, according to my research, when we say project quality, it is measured if the beneficiary is fulfilled or satisfied of what we are making, such as what we are making in our capstone project. If our beneficiary is satisfied of what what project we are making, then it is a project quality. This figure shown that the project quality management summary, which includes the planning, the executing, the monitoring, and controlling. So when we say planning, it is or the plan quality management, the quantity management, process improvement plan, and etc. Then the executing, the performance quality assurance, then the change of request, project management plan, updates, project documents, and etc. Then the in monitoring and controlling, the performance quality control, and then the outputs are the quality control measurement, validation changes, validation deliverables, and etc. What do we mean by planning quality? Implies the ability to anticipate situation and prepare action by bring about the desired outcome, and the important to prevent defects by selecting proper materials, training and indoctrinating people in quality planning of process that ensures the appropriate outcome. So, scope aspect of IT project. The functionality is the degree to which a system performs its intended function. The features are the system special characteristics that appeal to users. Then system outputs are the screen and reports the system generates. The performance that addresses how well a product or service performs the customer's intended use. Then the reliability is the ability to of a product or service to perform as expected under normal condition. Then the maintainability, which is addresses the ease of performing maintenance on a product. Simply, when we say scope, it is the way to set boundaries on your projects. So, who's responsible for the quality of project? Project managers are ultimately responsible for the quality management on their products. Several organizations and references can help project managers and their teams understand quality, which is it includes the International Organization for Standardization and the IEEE, which is these two are the websites. So performing quality assurance, it includes the quality, or do we mean by quality assurance? It includes all the activities related to satisfying the relevant quality standard for a project. Then another goal of quality assurance is continuous quality improvement. The Kaizen is a Japanese word for improvement or change for the better. So, ang liyan naman is involves evaluating processes to maximize customer value while minimizing the waste. Then, ang benchmarking, it means that generate ideas for quality improvements by comparing specific project practices or product characteristic to those of other project or products within or outside of your performing organization. And lastly, the quality audit is a structured view of specific quality management activities that helps identify lesson learned that could improve the performance in current or future projects. So, what went right? Kanban uses five core properties. It includes the visual workflow, limit work in process, measure the management or manage flow, then make sure policies explicit, then use model to recognize improvement opportunities. So, what do we mean by controlling quality? The main outputs of the quality control are the acceptance, decision, rework, process adjustment, and then these are the seven basic tools for quality that help in performing quality control. So, what does quality control mean? Quality control means how a company measures product quality and improve if it is need to be. So, kung halimbawa an usa na research like sa capstone project, if an devices or an web na ginhimo or an system na ginhimo is needs in quality control or ang pag-improve, then for the satisfaction of the beneficiary, then syempre as a researcher it is our responsibility to improve or develop a better product or a system. So, cause and effect diagrams. What is cause effect diagrams? Trace complaints about quality problems back to the responsible product operations. They help you find the root cause of the problem, or also known as the fishbone or Ishikawa diagrams. Can also use the five whys technique where you repeated ask the question why. Five is the good rule of thumb. Then to peel away the layers of the symptoms that can lead to the root cause. The next slide will show us the example of cause and effect diagram. So the cause in this diagram is the training, and then the under arrows are that includes in the training lines or the cause. Then also the system hardware, also the software and the user hardware. These arrows, four arrows, are the cause in the diagram. So here is the ano naman the effect, which is the problem or user cannot get into the system. Quality control charts or a control chart is a graphic display of a data that illustrates the result of a process over time. Then the main use of the control chart is to prevent defects rather to detect or reject them. Quality control charts allow you to determine whether a process is in control or out of control. So when a process is in control, many variation in the results of the process are created by random events. Processes that are in control do not need to be adjusted. When a process is out of control, variation in the results of the process are caused by non-random events. You need to identify the cause of those non-random events and adjust the process to correct or eliminate them. In simple terms, quality control chart is a graphical representation of whether a firm's products or processes are meeting their intended specification. The 7-run rule, you can use quality control charts and the 7-run rule to look for patterns in data. The 7-run rule states that if a 7 data points in a row are all below the mean, above the mean, and all are increasing or decreasing, then the process need to be examined for non-random problems. So the next slide shows example. So the sample quality control chart is shown below or denotes na may dalawa tinihiya apin na 7-run rule. So, and may mga star is the 7-run rule. So, if a mean which is the exactly 12 inches, if ang mga dots is above or under the mean, it means that it should be examined for non-random problems. Check sheet. A check sheet is used to collect and analyze data. It is sometimes called as a tally sheet or a checklist, depending on its format. In the example in figure 8-4, most complaints arrive via text message, and there are more complaints on Monday and Thursday than on other day of the week. This information might be useful in improving the process of handling complaints. So the next slide will show an example of a check sheet. This is an example of a check sheet. Scatter diagram. Scatter diagram helps to show if there is a relationship between two variables. The closer data points are to a diagonal line, the more closely the two variables are related. So when you say scatter diagram, it means that if two data points are close or masarani sa kada usa, it means these variables are related to each other. So here's an example of a scatter diagram. So as we can see of this example is the age of respondents and then the user satisfaction. Didi sa may 3 na sa user satisfaction, then sa age of respondents is 40, may 3 na dots na harani pero mas harani and 2 na dots. So they are more so the two lines are related to each other. So next is the histograms. A histogram is a bar graph of a distribution of variables. Each bar represents an attribute or characteristic of a problem or situation, and the height of the bar represents its frequency. So the next slide will show as the example of a histogram. So in this sample histogram, we can see that there is a number of complaints and then the week. As we can see that the bar graphs rise and then low or may hataas nga na hamubo. So it shows that the number of complaints of each week has either rise or hamubo. Next is the Pareto charts. A
Pareto chart is a histogram that can help you to identify and prioritize the problem areas. So the Pareto analysis is also called as the 80-20 rule, meaning that 80% of the problems are often due to 20% of this cause. So ang Pareto chart is bagalasiyan koan bagan histogram but may da na hiya technique or 80-20 na ginagamit so that ma-identify ang problem. So the Pareto chart contains both bars and lines or individuals' values represented in descending orders by bars. So and the cumulative total of the sample is represented by the curved line. So as we can see, there is a curved line under the and then the bar. Next one is the flowcharts. Flowcharts are graphic display of the logic and the flow of processes that help you to analyze how problem occur and how processes can be improved. These show activities, decision points, and then the order of how information is processed. So an example sa flowchart shows that if deliverable or acceptance request that is relation to route to appropriate decision makers. So mamakiana if accepted. Pag yes, then magakamay da assign of approval section, then notify requester and log in into system. Then pag nag-no naman, mangangailangan sin document required additional work, then mabalik na sa notify sa system. So what do we mean by run chart? In addition to flowchart, run charts are also used for stratification, a technique that shows data from a variety of sources to see if a pattern emerges. A run charts display the history and patterns of the variation of the process over time. You can use run chart to perform trend analysis and forecast future outcome based on historical data. So here is in the example of a run chart. Defect 1 is an lines or mga dots that has um, diamond shape. Then and defect 2 is the square shape and the defect 3 is the rectangle shape. So the statistical sampling. Statistical sampling involves choosing part of a population of interest for inspection. The size of the sample depends on how representative you want the sample to have. So sample size formula is sample size is equals to 0.25 multiply by the certainty factor over acceptable error raised to 2. So be sure to consult with an expert when using a statistical analysis. So commonly used certain factors for statistical